It's still football season at West Florida. The Argos battered Wingate in a round 1 win. Now it's back to Carrollton to dance with the Wolves. Men's hoops are off to a 4-0 start, but the women had a slight stumble on the road over the weekend. They look to bounce back this weekend with their home opener. We talk about all of that and much more this week on the Coach Shinnick Show. And welcome into the Coach Shinnick Show. So much to get to, all of that and plenty more. And we welcome in now head coach Pete Shinnick. Coach, a big win over the weekend, opening round of the playoffs. This is where it's supposed to get tough. That's one of the biggest wins of the year, and it looked like a breeze.
Well, I don't know that it was a breeze, but I mean, really, everything played into our favor, and I think our guys were as ready as they've ever been. I felt on Wednesday we could go play the game and play it well. Our guys did everything that we asked them to do, and then they just went out and played their best game of the year. Extremely fun to be a part of and fun to watch.
Well, it certainly got off to a quick start. Let's go ahead and take a look at the highlights from this one. And it started on the opening kick. They thought they wanted to bring it out from 2 yards into the end zone. They realized pretty quickly that was a bad idea.
Now, you're going to see about 8 of our guys right there just finish that thing off. You know, that guy's the number 4 returner in the country. And for us to do what we did, pretty impressive. And then for Jalen Spencer right here, just, they ran the ball for -2 yards and then a pick six. That's a great start to the game.
Yeah, it kind of sets the tone early, doesn't it?
It really does, and just gave us, kind of the momentum that we needed. Mike came out firing on all cylinders. Quentin Randolph getting a nice catch right there. And then dadgummit from 51 yards, if that thing couldn't have gone from 70, I think. My goodness, what a kick.
Yeah, great boot there from, everybody. Austin Williams was on his game, and then Colton Norris, again, another good punt. He's been doing an excellent job in the punting game all year.
Yeah, he's been fantastic. And then, again, great coverage. That same guy, I think, again, they were the number 4 punt return team in the country. We were able to pin him. Great punt. And then just one of the 9 sacks that our defense was able to get. Marvin Conley coming off the edge, getting it, from a safety blitz. Just fun day for the defense. They were everywhere.
Big third down here, trying to extend the drive. And look at Asante Griffin coming out of nowhere to break that pass up. That was a huge play.
No, Asante makes the great play, and then his brother Antoine makes a bigger one on the punt return. Great block right there by our punt return group. This return sets us up, and then we just really take advantage of what they give us. And, we've been great marching down the field at the end of the half, getting points. We're moving, 36 seconds to go. We're close. And then just great quick throw to Tate. And, we get our 7 points and get up 17-0.
And that was some desire to get to the end zone right there. He wasn't going to be denied.
No, great to hold on to the ball, too. I mean, to do a flip and hang on to the ball, that's pretty good.
I'm sure it takes your breath away for a second. Griffin again in the back of the end zone. Great pass there. At that point, the route seemed to be on, and then you guys really just got after the quarterback and, again, forced him into some bad decisions.
Really did, and our defense was everywhere, and I don't think first off, I don't think he's seen the coverage and the speed that we have, and then I don't think that, he knew where we were coming from. Great ad lib right here, just by Beaudry to Austin Blake Smith. Just a great job by our guys, finding ways to get in the end zone, finding ways to play great defense.
That one feels good, doesn't it?
It does. Felt as good as this celebration right here. One thing we've done extremely well is, get better at singing the football fight song at the end of the game.
No doubt. Dylan Williams, their quarterback, probably still licking some of his wounds. You guys did an excellent job to get after him all game. You dialed up the pressure. It seemed like at all the right times.
Really did. Darian Doolin just did a fantastic job of, knowing when to get after him, when to bring the right guy. Anytime you get, 3 sacks in a game, that's a great game. To get 9, you're doing a lot of things really, really well. To go along with the turnovers that we got, just an impressive day by our defense.
Once again, as you've done, it seems like over the last half of the season, you've been able to shut down the run game. Harlan Hill nominee Lawrence Pittman, the South Atlantic Conference Player of the Year. You guys just shut him down for the most part in that game.
Yeah, he got some yards. I think he broke 2, which, I mean, that's not bad, but really could not get anything going. One of the things I think our defense did phenomenally was, Wingate never had more than 3 plays in a row where they gained positive yardage. They broke off a long one, might get 6 yards the next time, but then they're going backwards. And that's just a sign of guys determined. They weren't going to let Wingate, get to where they wanted to get to, and they found ways to shut them down. When
you're dealing with a third-string quarterback that's relatively inexperienced, as you guys were last week, is that part of the game plan to make him as uncomfortable as possible?
Most definitely. I mean, it really is. And, Wingate decided to go with him. I mean, they played the other guy, decided not to. They decided to go with him. They saw something in it. But, what we want to do is, give him as many different looks as he could get while also being true to what we do.
You look at the defense, and as much as we like to talk about the offense, it's been the defense that I feel like has been the difference over the last 3 games. You're not allowing the yards that you were early on. You've completely shut down runs. We talked about the negative yards allowed over the last 3 quarters against West Georgia. What's the difference, and how do you guys get to the point you're at now? Where did it all change?
Yeah, a lot of hard work and a lot of determination by our defense, and then guys, understanding the fits and the angles. I think early on we talked about eyes, we talked about where fitting gaps, fitting areas on the line of scrimmage. What you're seeing is a lot of guys in the right position. You're seeing a lot of guys going where they need to go, and then you've got some very timely, well done either run blitzes or pass blitzes that are getting extra players around the box. Again, our defensive staff just done a great job putting our guys in the position that they need to be successful.
Getting teams off the field on 3rd down. The sacks are up over the last 3 games. You have more sacks in the last 3 games than you had the first 8 games of the season. Just stuff like that is incredible. This is a pretty special unit overall, isn't it?
No, it really is, and they're playing very well together. They believe in each other. They support each other. And you go back to West Georgia where we're down 16-0. They're still believing and feeling good about it, and then all of a sudden they put the clamps on, and they don't get much after that.
Another big test coming up, and it is West Georgia. When we come back, we'll recap the full weekend in Argo athletics, plus we'll look ahead to West Georgia when we welcome in Pete Shinnick again. When we come back, that's all coming up. This is the Coach Shinnick Show on the UWF Sports Network.
We will never settle for the kiddie pool. We are destined for the vast ocean of opportunities that await us. We were born to make a splash. At the University of West Florida, you can make a discovery, make a difference, make a splash. So take a deep breath and dive in. The University of West Florida. How will you make a splash?
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Welcome back to the Coach Shinnick Show. It's another busy weekend for Argo Athletics with 4 other teams in action. We start with volleyball. After running the table in the GSC, Melissa Walters' team earned the right to host the conference tournament for the 3rd time in as many years. This year, they got to taste the sweet nectar of revenge. After falling to North Alabama each of the last 2 years in the title match, the Argos swept them this season. It is the Argos' 7th GSC championship. The dominant tournament landed 3 Argos on the all-tournament team. Jordan Poppin, Monique St. Cyr, and Rachel Neblett were all recognized, with Neblett taking home most outstanding player honors with 23 kills, 11 blocks, and a .512 hitting percentage. Now nationally ranked at number 17, the Argos turned their attention to the regional tournament in Lakeland. They're the 3 seed. Walter really likes the way this team has come together.
The strength of our schedule, it turned these guys into a tough group really quick. And obviously we had some matches that we lost, but we weren't ready to win those matches yet. When we played Southwest here, we weren't ready to beat that level of a team yet. Now, at this juncture, I think now we're ready.
We have a bunch of different personalities, diametrically different, and somehow we work together really well. And it's amazing. We have this chemistry that is beyond anything I've ever seen, and it's awesome.
Women's soccer won its second straight regional championship on Friday with a win in penalty kicks over number 6 Lee. It's the program's fourth in the last 6 years, and the Argos are one of just 3 teams in the nation to win their region each of the last 2 years. West Florida is now a perfect 6-0 in regional championships over the program's storied history. After the win, the Argos battled but fell to unbeaten Carson Newman 2-0 on Sunday afternoon in the national quarterfinal match. The Argos finished the season with an impressive 17 wins. It was the 14th time in head coach Joe Bartlinski's 16 seasons the Argos have won at least 15 matches. Despite the loss, Coach Bart and the Argos can still appreciate what was accomplished.
Couldn't be prouder of our seniors who stepped it up today. We only have 3, and they all stepped up, did their role, and for them to win another region championship is pretty special.
Swimming and diving enjoyed a strong weekend in the pool. Diving brought home a win at the Delta Invitational, while swimming finished second at the Panther Invite, wrapping up a strong fall semester. Diver Justina Farrell won the 1 meter with a personal best 4:43.75. Good for the 3rd best mark in school history. Madeline Pitt led the way for the swimmers at the Panther Invite. She won the 16:50 free with teammate Grace Somerville right behind her in second. The Argos are off until picking things back up after the holidays. Women's hoops dropped a midweek contest to Columbus State 70-64. Both teams were in the Elite 8 last year, but didn't play each other. The 18th ranked Argos have a midweek game in Mobile against Spring Hill before opening up the home slate against St. Leo on Sunday, 2 o'clock at the UWF Fieldhouse. Men's basketball is 4-0 after a home-and-home sweep of Miles. With an 84-66 win at the UWF Fieldhouse last week, they followed it up over the weekend with a 74-58 victory. Darryl Tucker has been a beast through 4 games. He's got 59 points and 55 rebounds. He has a double-double in his last 3 and is 1 rebound shy in the season opener from having 4 double-doubles to start the year. The men will be in Valdosta over the weekend to play Weber and Fayetteville State in the Valdosta Thanksgiving Classic. Now we head back to the gridiron and welcome back in head coach Pete Shinnick. Now we look ahead to West Georgia. You've seen them already once, so does that make it easier, make it tougher now that you face them in the second round of the postseason?
Well, I think a little bit of both. I think part of the challenge of playing somebody twice is they already know you and you've already, done what you can do. And it's a little bit of a chess match in the game. It starts really in the second half of the game where they're trying to make adjustments and you're trying to make adjustments. But now you just extend that process. But we look at what we did well, we look at what we did poorly, and we want to improve on the well and obviously improve on what we didn't do well.
Well, where are some areas where they kind of gave you fits?
Well, I think they did a good job, obviously with some big plays offensively. And right out the gate, we saw that as we went down 7-0 early. So that's an area that, we're going to be on the lookout for. They ran the ball, early and really gave us a couple of fits here and there, being able to do that. Got to be able to take care of that. We obviously need to tackle as well as we can because we saw a couple missed tackles. And then offensively, they mixed it up and gave us some different looks later on where we're going to need to be on point with our O-line and our wide receivers knowing exactly what they're giving us.
It seems like you know the recipe to beat them. You obviously did, and it was adjustments that got you to that point. Do you expect them to look different, or are they going to do what they do when you face them a second time?
I think both teams are going to look very similar, but now what are the little tweaks that are going to, help each side try to get the advantage that we're both looking for? We obviously do a lot of things and try to tweak and, manage those the best we can. You're kind of looking for, if you do this, what are they going to do? Don't overthink it, but at the same time be sound in how you're preparing for them.
You've said it before that you guys are playing your best football right now. So confidence certainly isn't a factor. How much does that help going into a game like this, knowing that you guys, I'm sure, feel you can beat anybody?
No, I think it's huge, and I love how our guys feel. I don't think our guys are cocky. I don't feel like they're arrogant, but they are extremely confident in what they're doing. We've had great practices the last 4 weeks. They know if they play their best, they can get it done. We keep telling them that. Their best is good enough to beat anybody. We know what that looks like. We got to continue to do it play after play, down after down. I expect nothing but a great game, full 60-minute game like last time. Would like to end it a little earlier than the last play of the game there, but that's what we're preparing for.
You've been a part of some incredible teams. This one has to be different.
Oh, it is, and I mean this one. The fun part about this one is they're very tight-knit group. They enjoy being with each other, and they continue to get better. I mean, I see us getting better every week. Sometimes you're just trying to hold on at the end of the year and hope guys can make it through and we can bandage them up, do this. We're getting better. We're getting stronger. We're having fun and we're enjoying the process.
What's that feeling like for you? I've got to imagine that it's tough as you're watching all this play out on the sidelines during a game, that it would be tough to hold back your emotions and keep a smile back.
Well, you learn as a coach. I mean, you smile a lot at the end of the year when you have these type of teams. And, I think a lot's happened this year. We'll have an opportunity to reflect on it. Right now, just trying to find a way to win one more game and just, get on to the next one.
I know we talked about, there's good and bad to facing a team, but when you're facing teams now, because if you get this win now, all of a sudden you've got to face another team that you've seen before, that presents challenges. Do you guys look at that more as an advantage, or?
I think we look at it both ways, and I think there's both sides of that coin that you could talk about and kind of go both ways. But what we've really discussed as a staff and as a team is, this is really our future. I mean, it's one thing to win the Gulf South Conference in the regular season, but you're going to have to win it in the postseason as well, just because how good our conference is and how many teams are going to get in. At some point in time, you're going to either have to beat somebody who beat you or beat somebody that you beat, because that's what, the strength of our conference looks like year in and year out. Not that you need extra motivation this time of year, but knowing that there's a shot at revenge on the next level, I'm sure keys guys in a little more than they already are. Well, no, we win this weekend, which we know is going to take a lot on our part. We get to play somebody who beat us one way or the other, so that's fun. That is, no doubt. Well, good luck. Certainly appreciate the time, and we'll see you on Saturday. Thank you very much. All right, that is Argo head coach Pete Shinnick. We switch gears and move to the hardwood as we welcome in Argo women's basketball coach Stephanie Lawrence Yelton next.
We are not here to drift. We were born to move. To change, to jump in, dive deep, make waves, break through. We were born to splash. The University of West Florida is America's best university for making a splash. The University of West Florida. How will you make a splash?
I'll be right back. Hi! You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. If you're probably sober, then why would you do that? Good choice.
Probably okay isn't okay. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
That's a full glass of wine. I'll be chatting you later.
We will never settle for the kiddie pool. We are destined for the vast ocean of opportunities that await us. We were born to make a splash. At the University of West Florida, you can make a discovery, make a difference, make a splash. So take a deep breath and dive in. The University of West Florida. How will you make a splash?
Welcome back. Now we switch gears to women's basketball as we welcome in women's head coach Stephanie Lawrence Yelton. Coach, how are you?
We're doing good. Getting ready for Thanksgiving this week and getting ready for another set of good games. So, yeah, it's going to be fun.
Thanksgiving time, it seems like, is always an exciting time in basketball season.
It is. Everyone's, starting to kind of get revved up. You got those first couple of games under your belt, and now it's really time to perform and see where you're going to be.
Over the weekend, you guys had a tough test against an Elite Eight team. How'd you feel like you guys did?
You know what? I thought we beat ourselves against Columbus State. They were a good team. We knew at the half there were three things that we needed to correct. We needed to keep them off the offensive glass. We also needed to control our turnovers because they were scoring off of our unforced turnovers. And then we needed to shoot better at the free throw line. And in the second half, we just didn't make those corrections. We were worse in the second half than we were in the first. So yeah, when you don't make those corrections, you can't necessarily win the game. But I thought we gave a tremendous tremendous fight in the second half. We only lost by 6 on the road to a team who went undefeated on their home court last year.
Wow, that's remarkable. And you knew that this year, at the start of the season, there were going to be some growing pains because there's so many new pieces, right?
Oh, no doubt. That's where we are in our program, is that we do have those growing pains going on right now. We've got some really good talent, but we're just waiting on some of that talent to catch up.
One of your newcomers, Haley Neiman, has made an instant impact. You really have to like what you've seen out of her.
Oh, she's the kid that is going to be on the floor. She's going to crash her body into the wall if she needs to. She's that type of player, but she's super talented. She's from the Michigan area and a transfer from Saginaw Valley State, where she was Freshman of the Year in that conference 2 years ago, which is the same conference that produced the national championship team last year.
Wow, so you know you're getting a strong player.
Yeah.
And she's played like it. It really hasn't taken her long to make the adjustment, it seems like.
No, she loves basketball. She loves being here in Pensacola. She really has fit right in with her teammates, and we're excited about what she's going to bring to the table this year.
You've got a big one midweek this week, and now Courtney Myers got a chance at some history this week over in Mobile.
Yeah, no doubt. Courtney, with her block shots per game, hopefully she's 2 away from breaking that record. We're hoping she gets that this week. Of course, we're not emphasizing that because obviously being a shot blocker, it's a very tactical skill, because either you're going to block that shot or most likely you're going to get a foul if you miss it. So we don't really put a lot of pressure on her, but she's naturally good at it.
I feel like we talked about it a little bit last year, but there's an art, because you can't foul in that situation, but she stays out of foul trouble while blocking a record number of shots. So where does that come from? Is that instincts, or is there a way you can coach that?
Well, LaQuanda Quick, our assistant coach, was a shot blocker herself at the University of North Carolina and in the WNBA. And when she came in, she really taught Courtney how to block shots, but not block them from the player that she is defending. So most of Courtney's shot blocks are coming from when she comes over to help a teammate or when she's in a position to block a player that she's not guarding. So that's kind of where those blocks are coming in, is keeping her out of foul trouble when she's blocking shots in that way. And of course, that helps us so we can keep her on the floor.
Well, after everybody's stuffed with some turkey, you guys are going to be back home over the weekend. I say back home. You're going to be home for the first time. You guys have to be looking forward to that.
Oh, yeah. Going against St. Leo on Sunday. Again, another regional team from the Sunshine Conference. Good opportunity for us to see where we measure up with teams in that side of the area, in the region. So, we're excited about that. We'd love to have a big crowd here for that first home game.
That would be excellent. And it's an early afternoon tip-off, so it should be a fun day. And of course, over a holiday weekend as well. So should be a lot of fun. People maybe can get a break from their shopping, come out, watch some basketball. Want to talk about the fact that this team has had different point leaders already through the first 3 games of the season. It's incredible to have that kind of depth, I guess, on your team at this point. It's really becoming a strength.
Yeah, no doubt. And this is the same productivity that we saw from last year's Elite 8 team. I thought that was one thing that really made us special last year, is that we had multiple players that could step in and provide big points at different times. So from an opposing coach's standpoint, that's hard to guard. If you've only got 1 or 2 players that are constantly doing your scoring, that's pretty easy scout to figure out. But when you've got 3, 4, 5 people that can score in double figures for your team and really contribute at a high level, that's hard for opponents to guard.
Well, Stephanie, good luck this weekend. We'll see you over the weekend, all right?
Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes.
That is Stephanie Lawrence Yelton. When we come back, Jeff Burkhamer drops by to discuss men's hoops. That's coming up next. This is the UWF Sports Network.
The world is our ocean, and we are here to make a splash, to dive deep, to create, to develop, to break through. At the University of West Florida, there's no limit to how you can make a splash. Don't just sit on shore, jump in. The University of West Florida. How will you make a splash?
It's not just a donation.
It's a warm blanket.
It's a bottle of clean water.
It's a roof and a bed.
It's knowing someone cares.
It's feeling safe.
It's a today that's better than yesterday.
Every dollar you can spare helps so much more than you can imagine. Please donate now to help people affected by Hurricane Irma. Your support is urgently needed.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Welcome back. We're joined now by Argonaut men's head basketball coach Jeff Burkhamer as we talk men's hoops. Coach, what a fun start to the season. 4-0's got to feel good, doesn't it?
4-0 feels great. 4-0, especially with 4 region wins.
4 region wins. That's huge at this point of the year.
Yeah, we'll take those every day.
And you guys got to feel happy with the way you're looking at this point. You're never happy, it seems like, when the season starts and you come out of the gate, but then you just progressively see the team get better. And you've already seen that through 4 games, haven't you?
We have. We've had different individuals step up and play better. Guys are coming off the bench. I think we're building our bench. Guys are getting time. Different guys each game, with the exception of Tucker, has been awfully good. But, yeah, feel good about making the right steps over the 4 games.
One of the big newcomers for this team was Shondell Jackson, and you really felt like you were going to lean on him quite a bit this season. Got off to a slow start in the first couple of games. Now in the last 2, it seems like he's starting to make the progress you were hoping for.
Well, it's kind of like the lights going on, and he's figuring out what we're doing now, and he's becoming a lot more comfortable with what we're trying to run. Had a very good game against Miles at home on Wednesday, and then goes to Miles and plays well there too. So hopefully that's starting to happen with our newcomers. Those guys are starting to get a lot more comfortable.
What are some of those challenges that guys face when they join a new program? Because it's a lot of new. They go from high school to usually their junior college, or maybe sometimes it's another full 4-year school, and then they go to another system. That's 3 systems in a relatively short period of time.
And that's why it takes some time for certain guys to figure out what we're doing here. I mean, our terminology may be different than the terminology where they played previously. How our style of play may be different. Our sets may be different. How we guard certain things. So it does take a little bit of time usually for new guys to figure it out and to fit in, but once they do, they usually get there quickly.
And a comfort level with everybody too. I mean, but basketball, you're constantly relying on everybody and where guys are going to be on the floor. So the chemistry is important too, isn't it?
And that's why your new guys really have to rely on your returning guys. Those guys can help them kind of figure out what they're doing. But yeah, we run a lot of things. It takes a little bit of time, for guys to fit in. Offensively, we run a lot of sets. We change defenses. So probably a little bit tougher for guys to come here out of another program to figure it out quickly than maybe some other places.
Daryl Tucker has taken off so far through 4 games. I know you touched on him earlier, but just remarkable where he's at, and another big game over the weekend.
Well, he had 2 terrific games this past week, 22 rebounds in 1 game. Comes back, gets 13 in another. I think he's 5th in the country right now rebounding. And a lot of those rebounds didn't come to him. He went and found them and went and got them. And really thought Daryl played well. He stayed out of foul trouble, which is a big key for him. And we had just a variety of guys step into certain roles at certain times in games and help us win.
It seems like his attitude, his aggression is contagious on this team.
Well, it had a lot to do with this summer. I thought he had a terrific summer. He really worked hard. He got in the weight room. He conditioned. He got on the floor. Really had a good summer, and it's now helping him in the regular season, and guys are playing off of him. He's obviously a guy that we got to play through, and when he has the ball, good things seem to happen.
You guys played at home against Miles, and then you go on the road. Was that difficult to face him twice in a short period of time?
It is a different thing to play a team back-to-back, but it's kind of like playing maybe in a series when I was in the CBA, that type of thing. You make minor adjustments each game, but know going in what you're doing because you've just played them. But it was an interesting game to go on the road, to find a way to win up there. You're in a smaller, hostile environment, and our first true road game. So to see how our guys would react, how would you respond to adversity. We're down 5 at halftime. We come back out and play a very good second half. And it was funny, Tommy, both games were very similar. Mm-hmm. Very, very close to about the 10-minute mark of the second half, and then we kind of took off and won the game.
Talk about the Thanksgiving Invitational you guys are going to at Valdosta State. Pretty good field. Obviously, you get a chance to see Valdosta State again and scout them a little bit.
Well, we played Weber International first game. They're an NAIA team that was ahead of Stetson at halftime of an exhibition game and scores a lot of points, gets up and down the floor. That will be a challenge. And then we turn around and play Fayetteville State, who's got traditionally very strong Division II program out of North Carolina. At the same time, we'll get to see Valdosta State play twice We open up with them in a couple weeks in the first round, our first game of the GSC. So we should be a really, really good weekend for our players.
Coach, thanks so much. Good luck. Have a great Thanksgiving.
Appreciate it. You too.
All right. Eat plenty of turkey, would you? Keep up to date with basketball over the next week at GoArgos.com. Football kicks off at noon. You can listen on Choice 106.9 FM, WRNE 980 AM, beginning with the kickoff show at 11:30. For Pete, Stephanie, and Jeff, I'm Tommy. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.